Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of IndiThoughts. Today we have a very exceptional gentleman from down west of India, from Mumbai, and he is a dear friend. He is Gaurang Vora. Welcome, Gaurang.
Thank you so
Gaurang
much, Gaurav.
Gaurang has around 20 plus years of experience in various technologies, various verticals, various companies, and he's been dealing in program management and in what you call program deliveries. And he's been heading the program and delivery efforts in various companies. So he has a varied experience. He's also an influencer in the PMO Global Alliance, and he influences the decisions for awards and other recognitions in the PMO Global Alliance group. So, without further ado, I'll request Gaurang to give a detailed introduction about himself, about his personal life, about his professional life, and what he's been doing in 20 years, and what was it that he was doing before 20 years when he was in school or in college. Did he envision about this career, or did he think about being such a hugely popular influencer in a PMO Global Alliance, and all those stories? So, over to Gaurang. Gaurang, over to you, please.
All right. Thank you so much, Gaurav. Thank you. And it's been pleasure being on this podcast. Um, if I have to introduce myself, basically, I have, like you said, 2 decades of experience, and I have been working on very different technologies. My main part of my career has been into application and product development and things like that. Uh, Somewhere down between in 2012, I thought I should also have an experience in terms of infrastructure, networks, securities, and those areas, right? So basically, that would make me a complete package in terms of application, products, infrastructure, networks, and stuff like that. So that's where I joined an system integration company, and uh, I worked for that company for about 4.5 years, and that gave me a very good experience in terms of infrastructure, networks, and those areas. Right. I have been leading uh, PMO office. I mean PMOs, uh, been heading projects, programs, and portfolios too. Right. I've been working in enterprise, telecom, government, BFSI, healthcare, all of those sectors, and I mean, I started as a developer, and post that, within this 20 plus years, I have traveled in a journey where now I am heading transformation strategy, and I really love this. Right, transformation is something is what we really kind of look for in the current era. So that's where I am. Um, I'm fervent about implementing transformation strategies in organizations, and PMO and delivery management is my forte. I always look out for challenges and to implement innovative solutions with the thought leadership, right? Uh, on a personal thing, I mean, this was all about my professional life. On a personal thing, I am a music lover, and I'm a strong believer of things may be difficult but not possible, right? So, every time at every place you might find difficulties in achieving what you want to achieve. Success is far. It takes a lot of hard work, a lot of effort, a lot of discipline to achieve that. But ultimately, nothing is impossible. It's the impossible word itself says I am possible, right? So
Right.
that's where I really believe on that. And when I say I'm a music lover, I'm a drummer, and I have started learning the keyboard. So
Awesome.
that's what my one of the other passion is. So that's where I am, and
So I see
that's
that
what I've been.
you actually live by the word of learning never stops. Because
Absolutely.
yeah, because living in this age when people are looking at technology and learning about technology, you are not only learning technology, you're not only contributing towards the transformation, but you're also doing co-curricular activity of learning music. Because I think that there is nothing as pure as learning music and then using that music for purifying yourself and your environment.
Absolutely, absolutely. And when you said this, right, there's one more angle to my life. I am more interested in spirituality, right? When I talk about spirituality, it's like I I tend to learn the art like Tai Chi or Reiki or pranic healing and those kind of things. I always believe that, if I have to be of help to any mankind or humans or people uh, in the world here, right? Uh, I, I I tend to think saying that, I could merge or integrate science with spirituality, and then kind of do something which would help the mankind at large in the world. So that's and then I read a lot about this kind of things. Um, I I kind of look at saying, how do you really clean your body cells, and then you have seven chakras in your body mainly, right? How do you clean those so that you can be healthy, you
So you're
can be
opening up new
uh, you
chapters
know
about
uh,
yourself. So pleasure
live
knowing
a
that you
good
are
life, and then
deeply
also help
connected with
others
spirituality.
do that,
And what
right?
I
so
see is
so yeah,
that you are
that's
connected
that's
with
that's what
the
another part of
thought
my
process of giving to the
my
community,
personal life
helping the
is.
community. And that is what the ethos or what is the backbone of Indie Thoughts also. That when we started or when we envisioned about Indie Thoughts, we thought about starting a community which could actually connect influencers like you, program managers, program directors, delivery directors, and people who have already accomplished something in their life, and connecting them with the youth, with the new generation, with the people who are just entering the corporate life, who are just thinking about going into the path which you had already traveled, you have already accomplished, and you have already seen the milestones. So I think that this is the community advantage which we have, and you being part of the PMO Global Alliance. So when we talk about PMO Global Alliance, what do you do with that, Gorang? If you can give a brief about that also.
Sure. So, PMO Global Alliance, I got connected with PMO Global Alliance last year, which is 2020. Um, and this is the situation is very good. So, a friend of mine was into the judging committee of PMO Global Alliance on the Global Awards, and he's a very near friend of mine. And then last year, with all this pandemic and things, where everybody was work from home and things like that, uh, he pushed me saying, why don't I participate in this award? Because I have been in the background, I have been connected with some communities, I have been helping them, doing things there. So he was very strong in saying, why don't you apply for this uh, global influencer award, and you bring out something. He pushed me, and I was reluctant at the start, but then I did it. I applied, and then I got through. And then I had to make I had to make my presentations and share it with Global Alliance. So that's where uh, I was awarded a top 15 global PMO influencer.
Wow.
And from there, the journey started with PMO Global Alliance. Post that, PMO Global Alliance had this conference, and in that conference, they announced saying that this year, as in 2021, they wanted to establish regional hubs. And I connected with two gentlemen. One is Karthik, and the other one is Gaurav. Both of these guys are also associated with PMO Global Alliance from quite some time in past, and then I connected with them, and then I we were like, we wanted to create this India hub. So we established this India hub on 5th of May, 2021, and the whole idea is to again uh, share the knowledge about PMOs, bring forward the PMO communities, bring forward the PMO professionals, and execute those global projects regionally, so that India as a country also benefits out of that. And I'll just like to mention this, in all my readings and things which I have been doing. I Then a lot of researches which happens, right? But when the researches happen, the researchers are more uh, focused with the Western countries rather than focused with India, right? And one of the personal thought I had was I wanted to do something for our country, and give this kind of bring this podium or a platform where all of our Indian could showcase their own things and stuff like that. So I got associated with PMO India Hub as a board member. Currently, I am director projects and alliance in PMO India Hub, and I also chair the India Awards. So the first thing we kicked off was bringing the global awards regionally, and we started India Awards. So currently, the evaluations are going on with India Awards. We kicked it off in September, and currently the evaluations are going on, and we would be announcing the winners and the finalists in first week of February. It's really been interesting, because we have this is the first year we started this, and we have got very overwhelming response. I mean, companies, PMO professionals are really interested to showcase what they have been doing and how it has been happening. So yeah, I mean,
Awesome,
with
awesome. So thanks a lot,
PMOGA,
Gaurang.
that's
And
what my
for
journey
our
is,
viewers,
and
if you
I'm
want to be
looking
a part
forward
of the
for
PMO Global Alliance group, we'll be putting
connecting
the
with
introduction
this
to the group.
great
We'll also be putting the
community
membership
for a
details,
long term
and
period.
everyone is open to apply for that. We have three or four variations in memberships, so that will be part of the description of this video. So we'll be doing that.
Right.
So,
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. And then we really want to welcome all the PMOs and PMO professionals in India, uh,
right.
you know, to associate with PMO Global Alliance, because I believe this is the only community very focused on PMOs, and it could be project management office, program management office, portfolio officers, whatever we say, right? So yeah,
Great. Great. So we'll be connecting people to the PMO Global Alliance group. Also, Gaurang, we discussed about your 20 years of experience in the corporate life, but you were narrating a story about your life, that how you actually decided to come into IT or in technology while you were not educated in IT. Your core education has not been into technology, but you decided to get into technology. So please share that story also, that success, that failure story of your life, which actually became a milestone, a turning point for you.
sure. Yeah.
Please share that.
All right. You have hit a good chord with me. Okay. All right. So I am basically a BCom graduate. I have done my bachelor's in commerce, and accounts was my special subject, right? Uh, when when I did BCom, I never knew that I would jump into IT. And there was a very interesting situation which happened. So I was pursuing my CA, and then in 2000 there was this dot com boom, right? Um, I was into CA by that time, and then with final CA, we all know, right? The results are just like 1%, 2% thing, and there are many people who give those exams, and we all wait to hear saying that we passed out and we became a CA, right? But usually with that minuscule percentage of success where it happens, uh, and I also had a situation where you know uh, probably I thought I would not be able to give multiple attempts if I don't clear out in the first go with my final exam, right? There were personal situations, and then there was this dot com boom in 2000. So I said, why not move to IT, which would earn me a living, which would help me out, and I would also be able to learn a very different domain altogether, right? Because if like information technology, if you see, I would always hear saying that, oh, this guy is a BA in electronics, or computer science, or mechanical, or whatever, but those are engineers, right? And I was like, I would have a competition with those engineers when I jump into this domain. But I did my diploma in software engineering, and then I jumped up. I got into this IT industry. I had to face a lot of I would not say setbacks, but a lot of times I had to compete with core engineers, right? And then you go and interview at companies, and then kind of, even if you do good, uh, I felt this, and this is my personal thought. Even if you do good, you would always have a comparison between saying that, oh, this is a commerce graduate and this is an engineering graduate, and why not take an engineering graduate against a commerce graduate, right? I had tough times, but I sailed through. I got through. I got through as a developer, and then from there is what I started my journey into this IT world, right? So that was a big milestone or a turning point in my life when I joined this company as a developer, and I was like all into, all my happiness, all my cheers were out in terms of saying that, oh yeah, even after so much of effort and competition, I could at least get through
Mm.
and join a company. I would like to share one more situation or an example which happened in my life, and this is after I joined the IT industry, right? I mean, I still somewhere in a corner of my heart, I feel it's like commerce graduate versus engineering graduates, right? To get into this IT world. But I think I could set a good example in terms of saying that even if you are not from an engineering background, you could really do very well in the IT world. It's just about your passion, your interest, and keep learning. You just keep learning things, right? And another situation where I joined a company that was a startup, that was started by IIMs. A couple of directors were from IIM, and it, it was a great concept which they wanted to build into the IT world. And I'm talking somewhere about in 2000, 2001, 2002 somewhere. And this company had got a very great idea of connecting the FMCG companies to the A category retailers, right? And we had to build in the POS, the server versions, the portal. Uh, I mean, portal as in the website, and also do a lot of programming and build a tool on handhelds. I joined as a core team member of that company. Somewhere after 3 years, they were uh, you know good colleagues who were introduced, who joined the company, and they were of course from an engineering background. So they started, and I was kind of like, I was kind of doing my development also, plus I was kind of looking at like, I said, why not learn some hardware here, right? I was looking after the systems, the local network, and all of those things. And I mean, I kind of want to do something more apart from what is my core function area, right? And that interest brought me to do that too. And I was doing good. But at a point in time, there was this feedback session, and then uh, my marketing director came and said, hey, you know what? You're not doing really good. We now really want our product to be so strong that we could launch it into the market and do it. But looking at what you have been doing, looking at your interest and passion and things, we would move you from the core development to customer success. And that jolted me off, saying, am I really not doing good at that area? And that's the reason they're shifting me. Like, I was it was not really good situation for me, but I said, okay, I would I took it positively in a way where I said I would learn a new domain, right? Or I would learn a very different area. Customer success was a very different area at that point in time, right? And then I was moved, and I mean, I was like saying if I would have been into development, I would have done a lot of things, right? But I was moved here, and it was completely creating and building rapport with the clients, you know, making sure that whatever is they have been using, I mean, whatever part of the tools or the softwares or applications they have been using, they be successful out in their life, so that the company be successful, right?
So basically,
And
you
then
came
I
from the back end to the front end. So
to the
your
front end.
journey from the back end to the front end, that actually made the difference. Because today, what we see is that you have the 360 degree view of a customer acquisition to customer
Right.
retention and then sustaining the customer. Great, great.
Absolutely, absolutely. So that's where, and I was kind of like, and why I'm narrating this story is because I want to tell this Gen Z population, saying that uh, change is the only constant, right? You're
Hmm.
always going to face this change in your life everywhere at a lot of points and at a lot of times. Don't just uh, you know think it of as a setback, but rather look at it in a positive way, and kind of try to adopt that and move forward towards it.
Right, right.
So and I, yeah, like you said, right, now I have got a complete 360-degree view of a lot of things, right? I still feel and I still believe very strongly, saying that learning should not stop. I currently, you can look at a child and you can learn a lot of things, and you can look at the chairman of the boards, or the presidents, or the prime ministers of the world, and learn a lot of things, right? So your learning is very I mean, learning, I would say, is very vast, right? It could be through anybody and everybody.
And that's the reason you are an influencer also, because of these qualities of yours that you are still learning, you're still adapting to the new change. Because being in one set of environment and then adapting yourself, learning new things, moving on with those new set of things, that actually brought that change in you, and that is influencing your youth also. Awesome, awesome. So
Absolutely,
great, Gaurang.
absolutely.
That's been a great detailed explanation about your life. So thanks a lot for sharing that. Now on a very lighter note, to make the things very, I'll say, uh, pleasant for our generation. So I'll ask that. Let's say today you win a lottery of $7 million. Let's say, what
Uh-huh.
would be Gaurang doing with those $7 million in his account?
This is a real good question, and I really wish I would get those $7 million, if when this is going to get published, and if thought leaders and the leaders of the organizations are hearing, I would really like to gain that $7 million. But let me answer you. So firstly, I would invest a part of my wealth in a company of my choice, right? I would start a consulting company which I think would mentor, coach, guide boards and the C-suite on the mindset change. The current world which we are living in, the current era which we are in, I really believe that we all, and it's not just the people who are working on ground, but the people who are leading organizations, who are kind of steering big organizations. They also need to have a mindset change, and and this is very important in the current era and the decades to come, right? So that's where I would like to start that company. While I do so, I would also make my humble contribution to the industrial progress of the country, and moreover, it would generate employment, right? And I would employ one thing. The current trend in employment is, people always look at your past, right? uh, there are a lot of deserving candidates. They are capable of doing things, but they might not have got that great experience or great exposures they which the organizations they look for, and that.
True,
So
true.
I would employ those people who are capable, and I would never go behind their past experiences or degrees or certifications, or something like that, right? uh, I would really feel that capable people has to be at the right place, and they can create wonders. They would create histories.
And
So
I think with this much of
that's
money, you'll be able to influence those decisions also in your own company and in your partner companies also.
absolutely, absolutely. So that's the first thing which I would do, right?
Sure.
The it's like, second is, it's rightly said, right? The charity begins at home. So a part of my wealth I would keep aside for my relatives, where I can help them on education, or help them to start their own business, or whatever they would want to do for, right? So that's the second part of the investment which I would do. Um, Thirdly, I would want to give back to the community. And I feel gaining good knowledge and education is everybody's right? So I would want to build an education institute, which would be a kind in the world, right? Uh, but again, I would only and only admit those who really want to gain quality knowledge and education, and then this institute would give that for free.
Awesome.
Again, by doing this, we would produce Gen Z who would be far more deserving. They would be knowledgeable. They would be humble. They would be empathetic. Smart into their domains, and make this world a better place to live. So
Superb.
that's that's what my third part of investment would be. And
Superb.
lastly, I would be a little selfish also. So I would invest some part of my wealth for my personal well-being. I'm very fond of luxury cars. Um, so I would buy those. I would buy a bungalow with modern amenities, and then kind of put in part into my foreign trips for pleasure, and
Awesome. So, Gaurang, it's only
that's
$7
that's
million.
what my
So I think that we have to invest wisely.
obviously, yes,
Awesome.
but I mean, my priorities is what I have already
Awesome. Your
set it.
bucket list is huge. We'll have to have a bigger bucket for you or a bigger kitty of
Absolutely.
wealth for you.
Yeah, I mean, the company would generate, right, some of the kitties. So
And I wish that these things would come very quickly in your life, and you are able to deliver it to the community, to the corporate culture, which you are planning to change. And I hope that this happens soon, and we are here to see that change in the community. Awesome.
amen.
So, another question, Gaurang. What is it that you would be doing if God
Mhm.
gives you that power of giving life to one of the celebrities or any politician who has left the world now, and give that person life? And why do you want to give life to a person who is not there? And what would be the end result for that?
Okay, interesting one. All right, I would not name any celebrity or any person or a figure, but I have a role model in my life. Uh, I have been following that person, and if I get that power, what I would like to do is I would basically like to really bring in a good change in the country, in our country first, right? Uh, India is a population of 130 crore people, right? It's a vast population, and what happens is uh, there is a segment where rich people become more rich, the poor are still there, and there's a saying, right? The money attracts more money, right? So this gap is going to be. I would want all all of those people who cannot reach to a greater heights like the rich people. I would want them to live at least a better life, right? Uh, I stay in Bombay, right? So I have traveled a lot in trains, and the trains here and the suburban trains are at the peak time they are so crowdy. They're like you know I see people running, putting their lives at stake to catch the train, reach the office at time, you know, work there. Again, the same, kind of catch that crowded trains, come back home, and it's all done, right? The major part of their lives they spend into all of this, and they're not able to really give the quality time to their family. They also cannot enjoy, right? I would like to do some change in their life through, it could be, I mean, whatever. I mean, I'm looking at more humbleness. I'm looking at more helping hands, looking at more empathy with those section of the people,
Sure.
and get at least give them a little good life where they could spend quality time with their families, uh, you know take care of their children and parents,
So
and
basically, the overall happiness, the overall well-being for everyone, that's what you will be aiming at. Awesome.
aiming at.
So you're a good
Absolutely,
human being,
absolutely.
Gaurang. You're a good human being. You actually shared the ethos of yourself, your life, your the things which keep you centered in life and what you actually live by. So thanks a lot, Gaurang.
Right.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah. Right.
While we leave,
Actually,
sorry.
sorry. Actually, I wanted to bring in one more thing. Like while you said, all of this is what I have inherited from my parents, and let me tell you this. It's I am a great believer of Lord Shiva. Um, I kind of do everything and anything to follow his path, right? So Lord Shiva is a lord of destruction, but there are various angles to it. Right? So you have this Trimurti, and in an Indian mythology, and in an Indian tradition, we have this Trimurti, right? So we have Lord Brahma, we have Lord Vishnu, and Lord Shiva, right? And uh, I am blessed to have parents. One, my mother is Vishnu because her name is Krishna, and
Wow.
she is actually Krishna. And my father's name is Mahesh, and he is
Wow.
actually Lord Shiva. So I inherited all of those things from my parents, and one thing they taught me in my life is never ever be behind in helping
I
anybody.
can see
Matter
that
whoever
aura.
needs
That
your
aura
help,
is
be the
actually
first person
reflecting on your
to
face.
help.
That smile,
Right?
that deep
Lend your
smile,
hand,
and those
whatever
eyes.
capacity
I
you
can
can
actually see that you
do
have
it.
that
So
humbleness in your
all of
eyes
this
and
is
in
is
your
the
aura.
inheritance of
So,
my.
thanks a lot, Gaurang, for blessing us with your presence. So, while we end the episode today, I like you to have some words for our Gen Z or for our friends who will be watching this episode. And if you can give them your anecdote or your thought process that how they can live their life happily with more sustenance in their life, and how you lived your life and what things they can get as an example from your life.
Definitely, and this is something which I would love to do. I mean, I'm open. People can connect me, and I'm open to you know discuss, talk about things, and kind of, I would not say help them, but kind of at least share my knowledge, which I have brought in all of this years, which would be beneficial to them, right? So for the Gen Z, it's one thing which I really believe and I really want to do is always be in touch with your family and friends. And when I say always be in touch with your family and friends, is last couple of years, pandemic has hit, and what has happened is we all have either started working from home, or a lot of them have lost their jobs, a lot of them have been struggling. There are a lot of there are lot of lives which has gone to the Almighty, right? Looking at all of this, we all run in this rat race of, I want to succeed, right? I want to grow. I want more money. I want more power. I want this, right? And in all of this, we really keep running, and we we really don't, give that time or that space which our family would require, which our friends need, or which we ourselves need, right? And it's like, let's do that at the end of the life. And while I look at through my spiritual lens, at the end of the life, you are not going to take anything with you. You're just going to take that happiness, that satisfaction in your life, which would say, I did something good. I like, I was helpful, this was good. I could do this was good, right? All of that is what we are going to take away with us, and nothing else, right? So why run in this rat race? And I understand. And if I have to look from an very practical angle in terms of corporate lives, your earnings and all of those things, it's kind of like, I would say, this is very bad in service industry, where you have to be up and be on your toes and do things. If you don't do it, you are thrown out of your job or your things, right? I'm being very I'm being very straight and transparent here. I know the corporates are going to kill me for this, but um, they have a business to run, right? So while I understand the business side of it, we also need to understand, saying that if we would not have good health, if we would not have good quality time for our own selves, it's nothing would matter at the end of the day, right? While we earn our living, we also have to equally balance our lives with good health and uh, good quality time with our family and friends. And that's where I say keep in touch.
Awesome.
When I talk about keep in touch, meet them in person.
Wow.
Share those moments of joy and things, which would also really help you in your professional life, is because then you become stress free, and you could really work well, and produce good results. I mean, you could have your creativity, your innovation, all of that, uh, with a very uh, great force of energy, right? So do this.
Awesome. Gaurang, very, very profound, Gaurang. So thanks a lot for giving your words of advice. And thanks a lot for giving your time and sharing about your life, about your deep thoughts, your deep beliefs, and how you've been living your life. And I am waiting to meet you in person and having another conversation with you. Thanks a lot for your time, Gaurang. And have
Definitely,
a great start to your new opportunities and new areas where you're exploring your life. Thank you.
thank you so much, Gaurav. Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure to be on this podcast. I would love to, you know connect with you, obviously personally, meet you, and also have another conversation,
Sure,
uh, if we can, do another one.
sure,
I kind of, leadership is near to my heart, and I kind of would like to share that anytime, whenever you feel.
sure,
And
sure.
but thank you for having me here on
Thank
this
you.
on this podcast.
Thank you. Thank you. Thanks a lot,
Thank you
Gaurang.
so
Have a
much.
good one.
Thank you.
Bye bye.
Thank you so
Cheers.
much.
Bye.
Have a good day. Bye bye. Yes.